No. Because I'm in a symmetry mindset for particular reasons. We're gonna start in 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Symmetry.
Symmetry.
It's battle, Zale. Let's go make shapes. Let's go. Go, bro.
Symmetry is the difference between savages and civilized people. Nature, order.
Takes a long glance at somebody, an Novalian who has like the most asymmetrical outfit on. Oh boy, that's a statement.
I'm impressed that you decided to stay in Avale then.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Sometimes people have a purpose. You ever known a purpose? I know mine since I was a little boy. I find my purpose here. Alright, fucking Valente, get the fuck away from the light.
I was gonna say, I'm not ready for this. I have to prepare.
Alright. 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette so that my voice sounds like I eat cigars for a living, and I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Did we meet the new big bad?
Not No. yet.
We met the new big bad.
No.
No, I just like the idea of the guy just screaming symmetry the entire time, but he's harmless.
I mean, that's just Death the Kid and Soldier.
Exactly. Does he have 2 pistols?
I'm gonna go out on a
Liz and
limb and
Pat.
say he is definitely the bad guy.
Liz and Patty, the OG Libyan.
Yeah. Oh, Betty.
Come on, Patty. Okay.
Savagery.
Oh.
Not those 2 characters in Soul Eater.
Just roast your own character. Zale's Black Star. Black Star gets captured.
Oh no! Zale, run! Him!
Tres minutos.
Alright. I have wine, I have cheese. I am Ave.
Living the dream.
Now you just need to pose yourself like Bacchus. Paint me in like one of your Avalian girls.
Oh my god.
Wait a second, I just realized the true villain of this whole arc. It's gonna be a person who sells cheese, isn't he? Shit.
In my Wednesday game, we have a character called the Fishmonger, and he just like keeps showing up, and the whole joke is that he's a really great dad.
Mm.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Maze. Hughes is my favorite Full Metal
Maze
Alchemist character.
Hughes?
Mm-hmm.
Cries.
Somebody put him on a thing of the list of worst anime fathers, and I was like, you're a horrible person, and you need to reconsider everything about your life. But, you know what?
Mm.
The maze of my universe will live. Things will be okay. Alright, guys.
Do you ever just want to turn your daughter into a dog?
You should ask Kak.
Mm.
No,
Oh.
Shake it
No.
off, guys. Shake it out.
Oh.
I don't have a daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, you have a dog.
That we
Yeah,
know
dog,
of.
though.
Dear God.
Oh no.
You set that up, man.
Alright.
Ms. Doggo Sale. Just look.
Reverse engineer it.
Deep breaths. Rein it in.
Mm.
Penis.
When we last left off, our heroes had completed a short journey from the farm of Marcellus Dinamoitis, the personal retainer, or it would seem, to one Princess Jacqueline, daughter to the Queen of Ave. While escorting her to Hearthvine, you'd come across the ruined home of a nearby farmer, and following that trail of destruction to a nearby farmstead, you discovered that it had been attacked from an entourage of hill giants and ogre zombies. They'd been sent out to explore the surrounding countryside, digging for, it seemed, the bones of a lost giant. The princess quickly called into action a particular power granted to her noble line. Summoning this power, she was able to stop time at the base of operations of these hill giants and zombie ogres, giving you ample opportunity to survey the scene and make a plan. With quick efficiency, you eliminated the threats, killing the ogre queen herself, and along the way making an unconventional ally in the form of one hill giant, a dissident amongst their group, who seemed to favor mostly alcohol over fighting. And yet, upon being convinced that his alcohol was being kept from him by those inside, he helped lead the charge as you guys quickly mopped up from the other side. When we left off, Babette had been trying to convince him to head back to where he was going, but from miscommunication of hill giants lacking much in the form of vocabulary, he wasn't very much able to explain just how far away it was that he had to go, and that her request to have him walk back there was an unreasonable one. So as she used magic to convince him to walk away, he ascertained a short way from the Mont that magic had been used against him. Few of you that had been walking away from the Mont as well to greet Marcellus and the princess arriving with the wagon hear the sound of thundering footsteps behind you as you kind of like look and see the ogre make a running jump and leap up onto the walls of the building in the distance. You hear the sounds of shouting, Babette making some sort of plea, and Babette, if you give me an intelligence saving throw.
Saving throw? I guess it doesn't.
If you have
matter. I'm not
proficiency,
proficient.
then yeah. Then
I'm
just
not
straight
proficient, but
intelligence.
That's
It's
a
the
rogue?
same thing.
yeah.
No, as rogues do.
Oh yeah, they do.
Mhm.
They get dex 10.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
an
thought
idiot.
so. I thought that was the
Rick
reason for.
doesn't have proficiency in intelligence.
Cool, perfect.
Oh fuck.
Oh, no.
No. Hill giants are not very smart.
Yeah, that's true.
And with your ability to have a bit of a head start and quickly change your appearance, it's nothing for you to kind of disappear for a moment and then trick him into thinking that the person that had tried to make him leave was gone. And he sort of settles back down into the kitchen, finding the casks of wine once more and plopping onto the ground. But now there's a few more boulders that have been tossed into the courtyard from his vantage point as he had been kind of like angrily trying to get you to come out. Zarman, who was it that was going to go meet up with the princess?
Yeah.
Hanu was Zarman as well? Or
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
cool.
glance back, confused, and then brush it off and just continue walking forwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Give Lady Jacqueline a very polite bow.
She
Summer will bow. So.
crosses
It's
her
been done.
hands behind her back and kind of bows as well, and then kind of leans around, looking at the thing going on in the distance, and goes, "Is that a problem?"
Shouldn't be.
No. If anything, I feel like he could be a very good asset. He seems quite protective and is actually a lot wiser than your normal hill giant. He's from very far away, the Baltaines, it seems like. So, anyways, yeah, the problem inside has been handled. Apparently, and I'll give her a very brief, just overview of what had happened. We managed to get him to go help us fight, and he's probably currently just eating or drinking. So,
He seems mostly docile when he's drunk.
yeah.
You guys certainly make curious bedfellows.
There's not a lot out down south.
And that is what I love about the Coterie Coast. I am going to miss it. But nostalgia is already kicking in. And speaking of nostalgia, I happen to know a quicker path that might be able to make up for the time we've lost veering off.
Uh,
Could shave about 5 days off our journey.
I
Unless,
mean,
of
I
course,
think
you'd rather take the main road, of course. It's your
I-
decision.
can,
If you can validate the path, if you believe it's safer, Lady Jacqueline, proceed that way, or safer.
Not only safe, but beautiful. There's actually a particular landmark that I feel like I should show off. If I didn't, then my mother would ask me 1,000 times if I had taken you along this route. So,
sure. I mean, why don't we just double check with everybody in the group first? I don't really see any problem with that, but just in case. But yeah, we could definitely take that road. I'd glance over to Zarman. See anything else we need to mention?
Our path is clear.
All right. Okay, so if you have any other questions for your report, Marcellus, feel free to ask either one of us. But do you feel like the hell giant name rum? Just to just remind that. But I really, I feel like the threat level is low, but I don't know the terms of, I guess, what Avalians see as a lively companion. But he might be a good guard or at least ally to whoever this homestead belongs to.
well, Arvel is no stranger to strange bedfellows. And the Mont is currently unoccupied and unowned, so
Okay. Sure.
I
I
will
just
put
feel
in
like
a word with the Queen when we get back.
I probably mentioned that whoever does decide to live here, if there is any issue with ogres or hell giants, at least you got one on your side that you can trust. So it's always
Oh,
good.
I'm certain that there will be 1,000 claims going on for the Mont over the next several months. I do not envy the Queen that.
Alrighty then. Well, yeah, show us the way then.
We regroup.
Yeah, and see how everybody's at, and also just double check with Bobette. See how's she looking.
Different, like a completely different person.
What are you choosing to look like now at the moment?
I think I was probably in human form, so I probably would have changed into like an elf
Okay.
of just a completely different color scheme. So like primary colors as opposed to pastels.
Okay. You thinking like a tawny wood elf or like an elegant high elf kind of thing?
Probably more like
There are two high
yeah,
elves in your party at the moment, so that if that
yeah.
influences
I
things.
I probably would just go with like generic wild elf from the city,
Okay.
you know?
Gotcha.
But like dressed in like the same kind of level of fancy as the rest of the party.
Gotcha. All right.
And yeah, Babette would, when Hanu goes over, she'd lean over to Hanu and be like, I'm much more well equipped to deal with nobles. Let's just leave it at that.
All right, I will take note of that. Glad you're okay. Yeah, yeah, we can talk about that later. Anyways,
Yeah.
Marcel, and I'll just update her on the plan. And it's like, well, if you have any other reasons to go back, now's the time to voice those opinions. But we're thinking about pushing forwards.
I think that cutting 5 days off the journey would probably be beneficial.
Alrighty.
And
I also would probably glance at Eliza with a raised eyebrow, like, what the heck? And as I'm walking past her, like, huh? And walk near the wagon.
Eliza is just shaking her head like, just go with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll nod to that. Like, okay.
Before they're back in the castle, Zell would approach Lib and being like, "You got this short sword that's pretty fancy. I think you like it. Hey, what's wrong?"
And you just just see her like frantically patting her pockets and items. So, I don't have my mirror.
What?
I don't have my mirror, and I haven't had it for a while. And I was hoping today, when I checked in the cart, that it was in the wagon, or I don't have my mirror.
Oh. You see him kind of like he almost drops the short sword who's gonna give it to you, and he just kind of like, shit.
Where the fuck is my mirror? Who the fuck took my shit?
Someone. Okay, let's go check the wagon. There's gotta be someone who's seen it. Cause I mean, there was a lot of people. We had it on the ship, so.
Last time I saw it was when you used it.
I gave it back. It was in your case. And it was fine. In the same room, just no.
Are you sure?
Yeah. That, and so just like he's like mentally thinking.
Maybe Hanu has it. Maybe I dropped it, or
It's gotta be an explanation, bro. You can't
I
just.
don't think I did though.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Anyways, shiny new toy?
Yeah. And he still thinking, kind of hands it over, and then he goes to explain it, what it does. So, chance you want to put it in your inventory, you could.
Sure.
I have a sword. I have a sword.
It's a pretty cool sword.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, she has 3 of them.
Yeah.
I have too many swords. Not enough hands for all these swords.
Not yet. Eventually.
What?
Uh,
I just
that
whip
was
out
just when you
extra
explained
hands like an Indian deity.
Oh, you can just use your tail. 3. Aha.
I am using the Forge on my iPad, and it looks horribly wonky. So
No.
Mm.
hopefully
it'll
I
be fine
can
for now.
work most of tonight out just without it.
Okay.
We should be mostly art paint, so it
Yeah.
should be fine.
Mhm.
Dagger of the Order Mage.
Heckin' yeah.
It's a dagger?
It's a short sword.
It's a dagger if you were an
Or-
ogre.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Norman was stabbed with a couple times.
Do you have that in as like something you can upload to like resources or something so I can look at it?
It's
Yeah.
in your inventory right now.
Yeah.
Menu
I'm on
should
the
put it
Oh,
iPad.
I'm
and,
not
like I said,
readily
the last
accessible to
time.
me at the moment.
Okay,
I'll
not a
Uh,
problem. If you can, just at any point.
Okay.
Whatever.
If somebody wants to try and screenshot it and chat
Yeah, that's
and
kind of what
cut
I'm
it.
trying
Yeah.
to do.
So,
Get it.
you guys make your way back to the cart,
Mm.
and what's your approach here? You can see that there's the princess and Marcellus, and you can see Zarman and Babette and Hanu, and they're talking at the moment, but
Can I try to investigate around, like in the cart or something, to see if it was dropped somewhere?
okay.
The mirror.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I would be helping them.
And
Roll
continue with
advantage.
advantage.
Mhm.
Looking in the cart, you don't really find anything. I mean, it's the same stuff that you kind of gone over in the inventory when you had left, the stuff that you guys had, sort of checklisted off to take with you when you were leaving. And other than the stuff that's on the list, you don't find anything. You do notice, however, with that check that some rations are missing. But
What do you-
somebody like might have just eaten too much or something.
What? Can I
It's not like
follow the
you haven't really been keeping track of meals, but you do notice that there are more meals gone than what you remembered having
Think-
made.
crumbs?
No,
Like
it's just a few of the ration packs are gone.
You look a little confused there. What's going on? So,
So you know my mirror?
yeah.
I can't find it anywhere, and I thought it was somewhere, and
Okay.
Zale took it to fix something. He had no idea though.
Okay. All right. And I'll wave over to Eliza. When was the last time you at least know of it? I don't have the spell prepared, but we could try to locate it. Eliza does have a compass.
The Sunday before the Monday we left.
Oh, okay. That's not very comforting, but hopefully that will change. And yeah,
I was hoping I'd find it. I thought it was probably my own fault at first, but
listen, things get misplaced, and sometimes I know how things are on ships. A lot of people will play jokes on each other. Maybe somebody took it accidentally.
it's not funny, and I would
Okay,
watch
wait.
them.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Oh.
Eliza have a tool that
Yeah,
I
yes. So, yeah, I just wave you over and
Okay.
be like, mind if you help us out here, Eliza?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
just realizing for some reason it's not in your inventory, and I put those things in there, but they're not there now. I'm looking for it.
I'm
mean,
not
yeah.
in
Yeah, she's not actively at her
I'm
computer.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean I'm looking for it at the moment.
Yeah, it is
I'm
what this thing's called, but I'm like,
on fire.
Now go ahead and give me an investigation check. I'll roll it for you, because you're not at your
Okay.
computer.
so yeah, I will have made showed you just to make sure in case you haven't seen it. I would have just shown you a picture that I drew in my journal of it.
Perfect.
Some random
Wow,
markings of
really
it.
nice. I like the filigree.
Yeah, it actually was pretty good. Yes. And I would have given you a 1d4 for guidance too.
She
and
has
just-
2d4 by the way, because she's natural influence as a human too. So
Yeah.
do you want a 2d4 chance?
Yep.
Yes, I would have been like, okay, good job.
Yeah. Minimum
23.
roll on
Oof.
each. So, but get over 20. So as you're kind of looking and you kind of just like lean to the side and like you notice like right away that the board beside like it's hard to notice because there's so much stuff in the back, right? But you notice that the board that's nearby the ration area is actually off a little bit, and you kind of like move it a little bit, just popping like a little dagger underneath, and it pops it up a little bit, and it slides it in the crate of rations to the side, and you see a monkey staring up at you. This tiny little monkey. It's got like a little brownish fur and a white little kind of like halo around its face, and it just like looks up at you with like the saddest big old like there's so many little dazzling lights swimming inside of its eyes as it looks up at you with this little trembling lip. Its lip is trembling.
Not look at it because she has a feeling if Rue was watching, it'd be overwhelmingly stimulating to look at. Therefore, provoke a change. So I'm just gonna face a tree.
What you got there?
And it's got in its hand like one of like the jerky sticks from the ration pack, and you see it kind of like looks at it, and it looks up at you, and it looks down at it, and then it looks up at you, and its eyes get really, really like sad. Like,
Why is there a monkey in here?
honestly, the monkey's the most normal thing I've seen recently, but sure. I will take out a good berry, gently place it a little bit right near it, just to show that I'm friendly, and slowly pull my hand away.
And give me just a second.
Wait a sec. Wait 1 second. Huh. What type of monkey is this? Where's it from?
Ooh. Alright. Alright. So, you all kind of hear just this, like you're looking, you're going to reach up to give it the good berry, and it goes to reach for the good berry, alright, with its hands, little tiny little hand, and then you hear, like, something like, thud underneath the cart, alright? And you're all just like around, like most of you are outside of the cart at the moment, other than Eliza, who propped the thing open and saw the monkey, and you, Hanu, giving the good berry. And so those of you inside and around the outside of the cart all hear as something kind of falls underneath the cart.
So
Immediate weapon
And
drawn.
the monkey like looks at you, sees the sudden reaction, and then it throws the beef jerky towards you, and it darts down into the hole that it's inside of.
Can Zell crouch down?
You
See if
look
he's still
down,
walking?
and you see kind of like laying like on their back, like a little tiny bowl, and a banana, and a good berry kind of just like falls on top of their forehead, right? And it's this figure that you'd actually seen before. You saw them briefly during the crash of the wave sweeper, but then they disappeared afterwards. Oh, hi guys.
Oh,
You hear that we
Sorry.
have a hitchhiker.
Who are you?
What are you doing in there?
Well, the really pretty one had it right. I'm a hitchhiker. Just hiking and hitching.
Indeed. And why did you choose this lovely cart to hitchhike upon?
Well, I heard you guys say something about Hearthvine and a little bit of something about the end of the world, but I wasn't paying attention to that part. And then figured that you were going the same direction as I was. Hearthvine, not the end of the world.
Do you mind coming out from underneath the wagon so we can talk?
You're not gonna
Yes.
shoot me if I do it, am I?
No. Why
I'll
would
shoot
we?
you if you don't.
This cackle beat up.
That's a good incentive.
And as he climbs out, Kek's gonna do
He
detect
bumps
thoughts.
his head. Ow! His thoughts are primarily of the pain in his head right now. Sorry, guys. Ugh, I need to stretch a little bit. Do you mind? And he takes, so he just kind of starts like stretching, and
I'm gonna stab him.
I'm just observing him. Polite.
I'm just looking for the monkey now. So where did he go?
So, how did you...
you're looking for the monkey underneath
I'm
the
looking
cart.
at-
Give me a
yeah,
perception check.
Where did he go? Give her that berry. That's not.
How did you come to hitch aboard this cart? Just the most convenient one?
Well, I guess I could have hitched onto a couple of other carts. That's true, but those people weren't friends.
Friends of you or friends of each other?
Well, I don't really know who they were, but no, I meant friends of me. I mean, we all survived a life-threatening scenario together. That's not exactly something that happens every day. Well, not to me at least. Well, that's not always true. Well, and his stomach growls, and he goes, "Ooh, sorry guys, my head hurts and my stomach is growling. Is it okay if I eat while we talk?"
Yeah, sure, sure.
So
Here's a
you
good
were.
berry.
Wait,
Uh,
wait, Hanu.
wait. I
He
want to
sits
know where the
down,
monkey is, but yeah.
and you're
But
doing a perception check.
Yeah, I
Uh,
flick the berry to him and continue looking for this monkey.
Um,
I don't think I find
as
it.
you kind of look underneath, you don't see the monkey. You do see that uh, one of like the under kind of planks beneath it has a bedroll spread across it, and there's no like wall to the back of it. It's just like a plank underneath this, with a candle melted on it. You see like some like food and candy wrappers. You see the open ration pack. You see what looks to be an arrangement of flowers sitting on top of a mirror, and
Wait a second. Huh.
Uh,
Well, you got a really fancy getup down here, huh? I will just grab the mirror. Just, just no, wait. I'll stop. Wait a second.
you kind of
Yeah, look.
figure out how to get comfortable with found things.
Yeah.
Found things.
is it the mirror?
Looking at it as she pulls it
Yeah.
out, yes, it's the mirror.
Yeah. I will raise it up, and I'll just continue looking for this monkey. Secretly thinking, did this monkey turn into this man? Wow.
I look back at this new fella and I give him a glare.
I'm doing that thing where you like kind of spin your sword to test its balancing. I'm practicing.
So,
So not only did you hitch a ride without our permission, but you also stole from us.
What? No. Wander's not a thief.
That's what I'm seeing here.
so where'd you get the mirror?
Well, maybe you need glasses. Do they have glasses here? I'm not from around here.
I'm asking again, when did you take the mirror?
Well, it fell out of the
still
back
reading
of the
his
cart.
Yeah, Kak is still reading his thoughts, so he had to think of what it actually was to make a lie out of it.
He is saying everything that is coming to his mind. Other than the fact that he has a splitting headache right now. Like, reading his mind is almost giving you a headache. His headache is so predominant on it. Give me an intelligence check, Kak.
Oh boy.
So is like gripping it. So he's like gripping the inside of his like shoulders, like.
Okay.
Oh.
This dude's
What a
got a
roll.
fucking he just seems to be very simple. All of his thoughts are, kind of coming out as they are. Yeah, you don't really get anything out of it other than the fact that he's kind of an idiot.
There's not a lot of depth to this creature.
I'll end the spell and I'll just lean to Zaman. This boy is a simpleton.
Hey! Wait, were you whispering that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So okay, just takes a deep breath, and at this way he just walks to Hanu, and just like, give the mirror back.
Yeah. I'll gently give it to you.
So let's take it, and he's gonna walk around to Lou, and then just give it to her, but he just keeps on freaking glare at this dude at this point. Doesn't trust a damn thing he said.
Zarman will approach closer to Wander and ask, so you, just because I'm curious, because there's a few things now, how did you end up on the airship?
I was hitching the hike.
I mean, you're clearly very stealthy because your color scheme is very vibrant. But it was very hard to get on that ship, so kudos on you.
I'm
only
not the
that, I'm
stealthy
not-
one. That's Cantrip.
And who is this Cantrip?
Cantrip's the real mastermind. You never see him until it's too late.
Hmm.
Just glance around. Okay.
Well, could it be too late now? We'd like to see him.
Me no speak this language very well.
What does he look like?
Him?
Like his outfit?
His
Like, do I get any
outfit
kind of
is,
culture?
it's a little hard to piece together. It does seem like you see strong Xiaolan influences, but there seems to be like a little bit of like I don't know, like some deserty thing going on with him.
I was speaking in Shala. And be like, do you understand this language?
See, I knew you were a friend, he says in Xiaolan. You see, Cantrip is the one that makes the plans, but I'm the one that knows what people are worthy of trusting. That's why we make a good team.
Considering that you couldn't even approach us to take the ride properly in either the airship or the cart, do you really think us as friends?
Well, it was kind of hard to figure out a moment to be able to, do proper introductions. I was originally just going to leave because usually when bad things happen, people usually think that it's my fault, and that was a really bad thing that happened. But then I saw you guys again at the inn, and I just knew. You're part of my journey.
Oh my.
I had another journey, but I was trying to figure out what my new one was going to be, and here you guys are.
No.
So do you often just follow your whims?
Well, my name is Wander.
Oh goodness.
Yes, well,
I wonder how long it can come up.
Mm.
Okay.
I get a feeling that the other one doesn't like me very much. She's been
Just-
standing over there spinning that knife very menacingly and looking at me.
I'm about to fuck you up, kid.
Yes, she is the incorrect person to borrow items
Okay,
from.
wait a second, guys. Wait a second.
Promise,
Let's
I
go,
am no thief.
let's go speak to your mastermind.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's the first step of trust.
All right,
Speak-
Cantrip.
Okay.
Cantrip?
Uh,
This is. He usually. Cantrip!
I'm starting to think maybe you are the Cantrip. Huh?
I think this is another thing where I'm not understanding the language.
I don't. What? Okay. I will translate. Wait a second. Is the monkey named Dispel? In Jiaolan?
Yeah. Cantrip
Oh.
means trick.
Yeah. Okay, no, that makes so much sense. So are you the monkey named Cantrip who's tricking me into thinking that you're a person named Wanderer? Huh?
So
You got a really
translate.
good imagination.
Okay. So mhm. Where did he go then? I will look around to see if there's any monkey tracks. And ask Eliza to help me out. Like that monkey, you saw him. Where is he?
Okay, so Cantrip sometimes takes things, but it's usually only things that you can eat. And so he didn't take your mirror. I told you, it fell right out of the back of the cart. I was underneath the cart. I just grabbed it real quick. It was really shiny, and it seemed like an awful waste.
Well, when you see a
Seems
friend drop
like he's
something, you
telling
don't
the
think to
truth.
return it.
Give me an insight check.
Yeah, could I insight check this, dude? Because
I will give one of you guys advantage on this. I'm looking for.
Take that advantage.
Well, I mean,
I'm
so.
just
I'll
Yeah.
rolling for my
also
spell.
roll for Eliza since she's here.
Yeah.
I was looking for.
This tells dude this is his own volition. 23.
Which, of course, Harmon.
Natural 20!
Alright,
Eliza can
Eliza.
read his soul right now.
D4. Get that 30.
I mean, it's at minimum 30, so it's fine. So when a friend drops a mirror or any possession, really,
he's telling the truth.
For sure.
It was dropped right out of the back of it. Natural 20 on an insight check. He's telling the truth. It did fall out of the back of it. That's not what's, like, irking you a little bit. But something about this is tugging at you. You feel like there's, like, that he's more than just some guy that sleeps underneath people's carts. But you're not sure why. Perhaps it's the commitment with which he pursues this optimistic demeanor, despite the fact that there's somebody twirling knives and glaring at him at the moment. And the fact that he casually talks about the life-threatening scenario that you guys were all in. But something about it kind of makes you think that maybe he's not just an average wanderer. But otherwise, he seems to be really genuine. He seems to be telling the truth about everything he's said thus far.
Would it make sense for Babette to have seen the look on Eliza's face and just kind of like gleaned that there's something else? Just
I'd say that Eliza often probably looks like she's analyzing everybody like that, so you just have to catch up with her afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
It's what Zarman was after wanting. So you see a friend drop a possession and you don't return it?
Well, I just figured that when people throw things away, it's because they don't want them anymore.
Well, did you see her throw it away, or did it just fall out of her bag?
I didn't know who it belonged to. It fell right out of the back of the cart.
So it fell, and it wasn't thrown, and you still took it.
That's pretty quick reflexes, because we were moving at that time. Anyways.
Guys, it was me.
What?
Don't kill the kid. I took the mirror.
Can I inside Arthur?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Arthur, come on. What's going on here? Bad at. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
If you did it at advantage, just say I gave you advantage.
Yeah, I was gonna D4 that.
Doesn't matter, they were both 11s.
Yeah.
Well, now it's gonna be a 22.
Nice.
He's telling the truth.
Okay, I feel like at during campfire time, we all have a lot to discuss about, but we're not going to get anywhere if we're just going to be interrogating this one person right over here. We have daylight to catch.
This is true. Is campfire time going to involve our new friend?
Yeah.
No.
Will there be food?
Well, you need somebody else's permission first, and Mr. Prince has been watching this entire time.
Yeah, she's kind of like smiling about the whole situation. Marcella seems to be getting a kick out of it as well.
Yeah.
Zarman would just look in their direction and shrug and look at her while pointing at him.
I'm growing fond of this Volpanet. I think we should keep him.
That's a very interesting statement, but I guess it's a Novalian statement. Okay. But you were saying, yeah, Cantrip. He's gone. Where did he go?
Keep him in a jar.
That feels pleasant.
That's a really good question. Cantrip doesn't really wander off.
Okay. Gosh, don't make me. Oh my god. Okay, I will go
But he's
do.
also less trusting than I am.
I will do low-key creature on Cantrip. Myself.
Okay.
Just like I rub my head as I'm doing this,
Can
and
you
like,
pop that spell for me real quick into chat?
where are you, Cantrip? Yeah.
Look at a specific creature known to you.
I saw.
30 feet, at least once, the creature you described or named is in a different form, such as being under the effects of polymorph spell, doesn't locate the creature.
You do not
You can
locate this
locate him
creature.
within 1,000 feet.
Huh.
I'll narrow my eyes.
So suddenly he goes from open field to not within 1,000 feet.
It's a familiar.
Or
It's either that he's cantrip or something else is afoot. Either way, I kind of want to leave. I'm gonna go just catch up
Yeah.
with Rum and tell him everything. You guys figure this out, and I will just go wander off to Rum and just say, okay, we're. It seems like you can camp out here for a bit. People might come, but I will ask them to give you as much wine and alcohol as possible, but be on your best behavior and don't move. Uh, uh, as this everything else is happening out here. So
He as he kind of like starts to like do that, he goes, "Wait, just a moment," and he goes back underneath and he grabs the flowers that had been on top of the mirror, and they've been kind of somewhat twined together, and he makes a quick little finishing touch on it, and you see that it pulls together into a little flower crown, and he goes, "I don't really have a lot in the way of money, but I promise that I do everything that I can to pay back as much as I can. And I was gonna leave this as a sort of, thank you. And of course, I can do a lot of help around a camp. I'm good at cooking, and I can clean. I'm really not a thief, I promise. Just really hungry. I don't really know how things work over here, but you don't let a traveler go without food where I come from."
I'm gonna walk in the cabin. The wagon is point.
Yeah, no, I imagine at this point, Summer did the whole motion for the princess be like, what do I do about this, dude?
So,
'Cause, I mean, she's the one that we are escorting, so
Mhm.
she has final say.
so let's go sit in the wagon at this point.
Pathfind welcomes all travelers. You'll find that out when you get there.
Okay.
He's a little too cheery to be a thief.
mm,
Unless, of course, he's a very good thief.
The
That
cherry
is
ones
true.
will
Spy.
surprise you.
Are you a spy? I'm a spy.
Who is- Oh,
Let's go.
okay, campfire time. Anyways, I say, coming back from talking to Rum, let's go. Just show us the way, Marcellus. Let's go.
I'm gonna walk
And-
alongside the wagon.
Marcellus kind of ends up asking him about, the places that he's traveled to, and they kind of like compare, like, far-flung travel locations as they leads the way down this path, and it takes you, a couple of hours to get dark. You find a bit of a clearing and start to set up and make camp for the night. Assume regular rotations.
Yeah. Throughout this, I will pull Lib aside throughout one of these nights and ask, so remember what I was telling you about a few weeks ago about that summoning ritual? I want to, like, rise the spirits of my ancestors and the night walkers, the watchers. I want to do that, like, in a day or two?
Sure.
Okay. Bring your wardrobe. Yeah,
My,
so,
oh,
no,
crap.
no.
I don't have
Okay, that's fine. I can make a wardrobe for you.
I can I help?
Yeah, it's just a lot of ominous chanting, and you can do that in Aquin, so it's okay.
Oh, I got that.
Okay,
We got the thaumaturgy thing. So.
Yeah. You can wardrobe thaumaturgy. Okay, that's good. Smart one. You're always the captain. Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
Perception. Roll over perception.
I'm
Yes.
fucking captain. What?
you're the captain of the flute crew, of course.
Oh.
Oof, not seeing anything, so I'm pissed. I'm not seeing anything tonight. Hey, Liv, you think it'd be better?
Wait, what's going on?
We're doing our watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have told you that, like, if you want to do it tomorrow or something.
If I could hit my stats, I
You're
would
not
totally
in anymore. You probably have to hit to refresh.
Well, no, it's even with my iPad. I could like the iPad doesn't allow everything to
Wow.
open.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can't really interact with Foundry anyway.
You're not proficient with it, right? Perception?
She is not, I don't believe.
Well,
She
she
didn't
got
get
a
pointed anyway.
You got not a natural 20.
so that's all that matters.
Beautiful.
I'm just meme mugging the world.
Yeah.
It's mostly hills at this point in time. Some sparse trees, vines, these sort of white bluffed cliffs that sort of lead up towards the path that you're taking. The dirt kind of has this almost chalk-like texture to it, and you can hear somewhere in the distance the sound of a waterfall, but other than that, nothing eventful.
So it's kind of just deep in thought right next to you. So, Arthur threw it out?
What?
Arthur was the one who took it. The mirror.
Arthur?
He said.
Yeah, he declared that while you were all there.
And it seemed
To
like
get
he
you
was
to
not
stop.
lying.
Yeah, to get you to
Yeah.
stop.
And Tana was like she was. See,
Oh.
that's the truth.
Wait a second. Even if I did do that, I could re-roll that. Just not to really retcon, but yeah, with that net, it would have been kind of the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is it.
So what?
Oh no. I'm now just pondering why. I mean, is there something? Kind not really looking around, but just a second now, he's kind of suspicious of everything around him now. He's just like,
He knows the function of it,
yeah.
and we know the function of it, so we can only assume that either one, he wanted to actually use it, or two, he took it, but
To prevent you from seeing it?
seeing what?
I don't know.
I should just be going back.
There has to be a reason why he took it.
And then it fell out of the cart?
And Jesus
So
sees out.
he ditched it?
Yeah.
Or it earnestly fell out of his things, but
But if hypothetically speaking, if
he's
he ditched it,
smarter
then
than that. So I don't know. I'm gonna talk to him, I guess.
you kind of check that the mirror is still kind of in the case now. And now I'm like keeping an eye on it. It's still there, Chance?
Yep.
Okay. Well, in the case, let's wake up the next watch. Mulling over is not gonna do anything. Probably just ask the person himself.
Talk to him when I feel like talking to him.
That's understandable. I'll wake up the next watch.
And I believe Kakanite were second.
Yeah.
Just because I'm curious, at what point of the watch would Tirana just be awake?
Tirana's a high elf,
Well,
so
I mean,
she's awake for
yeah,
most of
she's
it.
the subcon. Mm-hmm.
It's if she's scouting ahead or not.
Yeah, no, she's awake for most of it.
No. So
Good.
Kakanite need to do our thing first.
Hey, Siren. Your watch.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So I'll go into this trance. Ding.
And another perception roll for CAC.
Then we wait for Cac to do his perception. Cac's doing a little bit better off than I am.
Not much.
Actually, I could have. Shit, I should have said I'd give you guidance.
It's
That's fine.
peaceful. You can hear the cicadas kind of chirping throughout the night. Nothing happens.
Zarman will look to Cac. That was a weird thing you summoned today.
What?
Your little floating friend.
Oh, yes, just a little something I'm working on. Why, does it bother you?
No. I'm just curious about how you feel about your powers. Because, you know, I think it would weird me out to be able to do something like that.
Well, it might, but to be fair, you're not used to it.
And you're used to yours?
For the most part. It can be a little bit weird sometimes, but yes, for the most part, it's fine. A lot of it just comes naturally, so it feels relatively normal in that sense.
Zarman slightly tilts his head. Other than that, yeah, you'll just go back to watching after. Being curious of wherever Trana is at the moment.
Tirana is by what had been the fire, where there's kind of like a lantern that you guys have up nearby the fire so that you guys could easily be able to light it and not be in the dark. But she's kind of just sitting by the lantern. She appears to be waxing her bow.
Yeah, towards the end of the watch, Zarman will say, I will go wake up the next watch with you here in a minute. And then we'll go to approach Tirana.
Evening, Zaman.
Evening. How have you been holding up?
Holding up in regards to what?
Nah. I'm just seeing how you generally feel at the moment.
I am fine. It's strange being home, yes, but somehow it also feels like it's been too long. And it's not at all how I thought I would come back, but I guess I'm just
Yeah,
trying
exploding airship is kind of a weird way to come home.
Weird has become a regular part of my lexicon as of late.
Yeah, I've noticed that you tend to give proper explanations to things here recently. When we first met, I didn't think you to be one less than business.
Well, to be fair, when we first met, I hadn't had a lead in regards to the ship you sailed on in 15 years. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah. Did you manage to talk to Victor before he left?
Truthfully, I avoided him.
Why is that?
Because somehow I simultaneously wasn't certain I'd know what to say, and afraid that once I started to say it, I wouldn't be able to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Zaman?
Everything's always just going. Keeping up is just tiring.
Well, welcome to Olivel, where everything is always going, but ends up in exactly the same place. It'll be a nice change of pace, I believe.
Well, I think once we make it to the hearth, we're probably gonna have to speak with the queen at some point, I'd imagine. Any mannerisms I should be keen on when we arrive?
Growing up, I was given a piece of advice for how to not be intimidated by the presence of powerful people. So when at important balls or meetings, or standing before a queen, I would simply imagine everyone in the room naked. She gives like a nod.
Sarman tilts his head. Thinks on it for a little bit. I don't know if I would be more intimidated or less intimidated if they were confident in being naked in front of me.
Yes, but if you make it an inside joke, and it simultaneously helps you remember that underneath all our regalia, we're all still flesh and bone. Medals get pinned on clothing, as do titles. But we're all the
Didn't think
same
you-
in our birthday suits.
Didn't take you to be one to just either.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I didn't take you one to just either.
Well, sometimes we can surprise even ourselves.
Well, since I've harassed you a little bit with some questions, you have any particular one for me?
I've noticed that you're different in how you regard Saint Ava. Or, sorry, Gwyn. Ugh, slipped.
Yep. In what particular manner?
You look at her the way some people look at tombstones.
Well, I'm just questioning if the visions of Ava that I've had up until now were actually her or not. But if it is to be believed of when Namara Vessi's founder, well, it wouldn't actually be her. I'm just questioning if what was seeing there was actually her
Well,
at this point.
what about your friend? Libby Lou and Rue. Are they not separate people, separate souls, separate forms, yet trapped in a contract?
Well,
Are they not?
in that case, it's more of there's a distinct manner in which they act. There wasn't really a distinct difference in the two I saw.
Well, I'm no expert on the soul. But there are people in Hearthvine. The Arcanum has some of the brightest minds in the world. Perhaps someone there can shed a light on her condition.
Sermon nuts.
But first we must survive the shark-infested waters of Arvalian nobility.
While you did leave your position as first mate, if you ever do need help, you could always ask too.
I may not feel it is my place to hold the position of first mate, but it does not mean that I have abandoned the Stars and Seas Society entirely. I will be there.
We've made it this far together.
We have farther yet to go.
Well, sorry for interrupting your activity. It's about time for me to wake up the next watch.
Alright. Next was Arthur and
It
Hoenn.
was. Yeah.
Alright.
And then no, I think it was Eliza and
Oh yeah, Eliza and Babette.
Babette, and then those two were last.
Alright, I will roll for Eliza. If Babette will roll a perception check for herself.
Watch Eliza wipe the floor with me. Ooh!
Natural one.
She's tired.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
She's still waking up.
Alright.
Yeah.
Eliza, not a morning person. And nothing happens. It's uneventful.
Yeah.
You do hear a lot of birds at one point. It's early in the morning by this point in time. It's you can see like a little bit of like dawn and like the soft lighting coming through, but it's still mostly dark in the sky, and you can hear the sound of like birds, like just a whole bunch of them, somewhere off in the distance in whatever direction that waterfall is. But other than that, nothing. It kind of dies down after a little bit.
And just like normal birds that you
Yeah.
would expect to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I'd bring it up with Eliza, but just like in a passing comment.
Alright. bring us to
Hohen
Hohen and Arthur.
Arthur.
I will roll for Arthur since Hohen isn't here.
Mhm.
And I will just give him advantage. Alright, and a peaceful night goes on by. He doesn't notice much anything going on. And wakes you guys all up. Wander got up during his thing and actually went out and found a plethora of like fruits and there's like a whole bowl full of apples and another whole one sorry, not apples, oranges, and another whole one full of grapes and berries, and he just has them all just like laid out on these things. He did use some of your guys' wooden bowls for doing it, but
I'll give him a nod and then try to put aside some of the berries for some good berry stuff. But other than that, I'm just gonna be resting, sitting next to Gwen, ready for us whenever we're ready to leave.
Cantrip! Cantrip! Oh, where is he?
Do you normally vanish for this long?
Not normally for this long.
I mean, after you made that big thud, he kind of just vanished. He just dipped down. So,
I think that he was just scared of your guys' intimidating presence. I mean, did you see the lightning bolts that you guys made when you went down? It was pretty cool.
It was pretty fantastic.
I didn't
I'll
see
give
it
him that.
myself, but I heard so many people talk about it that it like must have been like the coolest thing ever. And that one time when you like lifted up the door and like you pulled me out and I'm not dead now, so that's like you guys are awesome.
okay, but I can at least tell you that Cantrip wasn't there within 1,000 feet of us. I can check again this morning, but
Yeah, Cantrip doesn't really hide like
sure?
normal things.
Are you sure he's like not magic or you're not Cantrip? I give him the one very suspicious looking eye. He wasn't there when we saw you originally.
Oh, Cantrip is very magical.
And I'll switch to Jean
I
Lan.
was
Are we?
charged with Cantrip so that I could find somebody to be able to help save my village.
Wait.
He's my secret weapon.
I'll switch to Zhao Lan just so we have the proper language. Are you saying that he was a product of a spell or a magic item, or did you just conjure him up yourself, type of magic, or he's just a really fun like in
No,
terms of
Cantrip's whole family comes from a whole line of magical monkeys.
Oh, okay, and
My
I'll
village
just
takes care of them, or rather,